Everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Do the Work Sports. I'm here bringing you news from the TLC pay-per-view from last night. I was modest and I gave everybody time to get a little view in. Look at it for yourselves. You ain't watched it yet. Maybe you want to know what happened, but you don't want to go through the hours of watching and see what goes on, and you haven't looked up and see what happened. So here I am giving you some news, giving you my point of view, giving you some opinions. So let's get right into it. Kickoff show. Humberto Carrillo versus Andrade. This was a very solid match. It was a great way to start off the show. I appreciated the work that these two put into this match. And what ends up happening is Humberto Carrillo picks up the victory after rolling Andrade up. 1, 2, 3. Match is over because Selena jumps up on the apron, gets knocked off like she did Monday night, causing Andrade to get pinned. Andrade gets mad, and he leaves her standing in the ring alone, looking like a heartbroken prom night date after she just found out that her date, her boyfriend, etc., has been cheating on her with her best friend. Now, jumping right into the main event card, here we are. New Day versus The Revival, a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. This match was a very exciting match. I loved watching these guys work. Whenever the Revival go against the New Day, they do put the best foot forward, in my personal opinion. And you know, when Kofi Kingston's in the ring, Big E, they're going to try to do the best to put on the best show that they can. Now, however, in this match, there was a mistake made. Big E is supposed to get suplexed through the ladder. Doesn't happen. And like veterans in the ring, the Revival pick him back up, put him on the ladder, and Dash Ryder puts him with a fog splash through the ladder, and it was a very exciting thing. This is awesome chance started going off. Now at this point, there's two ladders in the ring standing up, and the Revival begin to climb up the ladder. And you know Kofi Kingston's going to come in at some point, and he does. He comes jumping in like Tarzan trying to save Mary Jane in the Disney movie. Now, what ends up happening? He holds his own, but eventually the number games get to him. He gets his legs put through the steps of the ladder, so he's just sitting there dangling like a piece of gum when you're when you're a kid and you're stretching it out as far as you can. And he's just dangling there and dangling there and dangling there. So what ends up happening? Big E gets involved, grabs Dash Ryder, does his finisher, boom, they're both out, laying there, leaving Scott Dawson and his beautiful bald head to secure the win for the Revival. And just like The Undertaker, Kofi Kingston comes back to life when you least expect it, bashing that beautiful bald head of Scott Dawson off the ladder, and he goes through the ladder that Big E had already went through, so it was not a soft landing, and then he would struggle to get his legs unstuck, and he ends up grabbing the belts and winning it for the New Day. Now, who needed to win this match? It really wasn't the New Day that needed to win this match. It was the Revival. I think the Revival have been putting in the good work. They're unhappy with WWE. You've seen the reports. They're trying, but anytime they try to get a title, and they do get a title, they don't get used very much. But not only for the Revival's sake, they've been teaming up with Team Baron Corbin here of late, and I think that if you give them the tag titles, they add a little bit of credibility, not just to themselves, but they add credibility to, King Corbin's court, that you would so-called say. Now, what ends up happening is, now it's the next match. And let me tell you something, folks. 3 matches, 3 for 3. These guys, WWE knocked it out of the park. It is Buddy Murphy who knocked on Alistair Black's door and picked a fight with Alistair Black. This is just a normal match, skill versus skill, talent versus talent, and it did not disappoint. Alistair Black gets his nose broken, and it's cut right about here. And when he gets his nose broken, blood's gushing everywhere. The referee pulls out the handy-dandy gloves. And if you don't believe me, ask Jerry the King Lawyer, who repeated it several times in several minutes. Repeatedly, it's almost like a CD that's skipping, that he has a broken nose. I also believe that within that move, at some point in time, Alistair Jaw's jaw got broke by Buddy Murphy as well, or really damaged, because throughout the match, he's constantly stopping to hold his face. But like the tough SOB that he is, he continues to match. This was a incredible match, and it was yet another match that got this is awesome chance. And as this match went on, you could definitely tell that Alistair Black was hurt, because Buddy Murphy's strikes, you knew that Alistair Black was not getting hit as hard as he had before. Buddy Murphy had pulled back his shots out of respect, and when they're in the ring, them competitors look out for each other, or supposed to. Now, he gets hit with the Black Mass in a surprising event, and Buddy Murphy ends up losing this match. Now, who needed to win this match? Well, you can look at both cases. These are both Paul Heyman boys. Paul Heyman likes both of these guys. He wants to push Buddy Murphy and he wants to push Alistair Black. But Alistair Black has Vince McMahon's backing more than Buddy Murphy does. So Buddy Murphy doesn't get this win. But I do believe that there is a rematch in the making here as long as Alistair Black is not damaged. And I look for Buddy Murphy to pick up the victory. And there will be a rubber band match to be had. And I really hope these guys continue to fight like that. I want to see more matches between Buddy Murphy and Alistair Black. Next on the list is the Raw WWE Tag Team titles. As you know, the Viking Raiders have been issuing open challenges, and tonight was no different. They issued open challenge. Speculation was that maybe the AOP would get in a match with them, but it's a little bit too soon for that. Instead, the OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson comes out, answers the calls. They make some fat jokes. They make some Viking jokes. You know, the normal Good Brothers thing that they do. And they would end up losing this match, by the way. The Viking Raiders pick up the victory. This match was a solid match. It wasn't no barn burner by any means. It wasn't a fantastic match, but it was a good filler match. If you wanted to get up, use the bathroom real quick, or come back, you know, it was good for that standpoint. And poor Carl Anderson and being the smaller guy on the team, he gets tossed up in the air like yesterday's trash and slammed back down and gets pinned 1, 2, 3. Now, this seems like a normal thing because the OC won in Saudi Arabia, become the best tag team in the world. They have yet to hold a championship since then. They have yet to really have very much success at all since then. So they've been the best tag team at losing or jobbering to these other teams. Now, it makes sense that the Viking Raiders would win this match because the future tells, if anything, that that the Viking Raiders will be facing AOP. I guarantee it that we will see that match. AOP will win. They're pushing AOP. This is the match that I want to see. This is the match that I think you guys want to see. And I think what will happen is AOP will win. Seth Rollins will win a championship, maybe a United States title, something like that. There's been rumors about that as well. And that they will be kind of like the Undisputed Era where they'll all have championships and they're all going to stick together. Now, the next match on the list was the TLC Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. Anything goes in this match. So you know at some point in time, Corbin is going to cheat and interfere. We get somebody to interfere for him. I thought maybe it would be Drake Maverick because there is rumors that Drake Maverick, oh yeah, that name sounds familiar to you? Well, Drake Maverick used to be AOP's old manager until they disappeared from the face of the earth and he had nothing to do but chase around a 24/7 championship that's not even around 7 hours of the time now and get married. And I don't know if he has consummated his marriage just yet, but he is going to be joining Baron Corbin. That is the rumor. So I thought it'd be him, but this match was actually a decent match. After the match really got started, Roman Reigns comes out, security jumps him, Roman Reigns fights him off, and the match begins at that point in time. And this, like I said, this was a very solid match at first, and then what ends up happening is Roman Reigns goes to spear Baron Corbin through the barrier, and Dolph Ziggler super kicks his face clean off his head, and Roman goes down. And then, out of retribution, as natural as you may figure, they both team up to take on the Roman Reigns lookalike who's standing ringside by the bellman. And they toss him around like a rag doll. For whatever reason, they've forgotten that they're facing Roman Reigns. I don't know if they got confused. Maybe it was his twin brother. I have no idea. And they get the dog food and the handcuffs, and you think, okay, they're going to handcuff Roman Reigns. Nope. They continue to assault this poor man. And then Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere with a magical outside drop kick across an apron, one of his patented moves. He then has to fight off not only Ziggler, Corbin, and it seemed like a never-ending attack of security guards. He does all that, and right when he does his hoorah, and he's getting ready to go for the spear or the Superman punch, as the Superman does, he gets ready to fly himself right through Baron Corbin, and then Kryptonite chair hits him right in the face, knocking him to the ground. By Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler and a few other security guards begin to beat the living daylights out of him until he's hit with an end of day on top of the chair and gets pinned 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin wins this match. Now, Who needed to win this match, you may be wondering, or who do you think should have won this match? And I'm going to tell you right now, Corbin did need this win. He lost to Roman Reigns at Starrcade. He needed this win. I do believe, though, he needed this win in a more clean fashion, because when all them security guards and Dolph Ziggler got involved, the match really went downhill, and it really hurt the credibility of not only Corbin. And I know it's for storyline, but this hurts people's credibilities when you get this many people involved. So it hurts Corbin's credibility. It hurts the credibility of the match calling, in my opinion, and of the writers. I mean, we know that the writers for WWE are not the greatest. I think this was a dumb mistake, and they really ruined a very good potential match by getting all this stuff to go down. And you can feel the energy get sucked out of the stadium once all these security guards and that got involved. Next on the list was Bray Wyatt. And when I say Bray Wyatt, I don't mean the Fiend. I mean just normal, crazy, yowie wowie Bray Wyatt. He comes out in his patent sweater, and he's going against The Miz. Blue Championship. This is not a title match, so anything can really happen. And this was a normal match as well. Bray Wyatt would go on to win this match, and I don't see how that was even possible. As the match began, The Miz goes complete psycho dad extra strength on Bray Wyatt, and he lets him in on his whip-ass hands. And when and by the way, when I say this, I mean Bray Wyatt only had maybe five or four offensive moves, and it was crazy. And he does it, but Bray Wyatt does a really good job at selling his crazy side. He's laughing during this match. He's selling these hits, not like the Fiend, who can take a ladder to the chest and still survive. He's selling this stuff. He is getting hurt. So he is human, believe it or not. But what ends up happening is he finally hits The Miz with the Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3, match is over. Then a video comes on the big screen, and is the Fiend looking down, and Bray Wyatt goes, "Okay, I'll do it." How many of you guys remember the big hammer that he has? He goes over outside the ring, grabs it, picks it up, and therefore it's all over, you think. And then all of a sudden the lights start to go out. You think the Fiend's going to show up, or how are they going to pull this off? No, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the Fiend. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Daniel Bryan looking plain Jane. He's got a red hoodie on. He's back to no beard. He's got a shaved head. This is Bryan Danielson when he first entered into the WWE. He went back to his vintage look. Sound familiar? Sheamus is also back to his vintage look. Either way, the two's not related. Bryan whoops the snot out of old Bray Wyatt, and then he grabs the hammer. He's going to hit him with the hammer. All the lights go off. Lights come back on. And as you guessed it, Bray Wyatt's nowhere to be found, but he leaves the title in the ring, leaving Bryan to pick it up and hold it. And you know a title match is coming, and The Fiend and Daniel Bryan is going to face off one more time. Now, I'm very disappointed at the outcome of this match, because in my opinion, The Miz needed to win this match. It was a non-title match. You could give Miz a win that he desperately needs. It seems like whenever The Miz becomes a babyface, WWE decides that he can lose every match, and that's okay. He gives you one heck of a performance in his promo before the match. Earlier in that night, and you know what? I'm sorry, Bray Wyatt could have lost this match, and it doesn't, in my opinion, it does not hurt The Fiend. It does not hurt Bray Wyatt's push. If he loses this match, and it gives a reason for The Fiend versus The Miz at a later date, because The Fiend's going after guys that he has been hurt by when he was just the past Bray Wyatt with the Wyatt family. So I really, really was hoping that The Miz would pick up this win. He needs this win, and then later on he would face The Fiend and, of course, get beat. Now, for me, this match was a very disappointing thing to see, and I wasn't very impressed. It was a boring match overall, and because The Miz was the only one doing any offense. It was a beatdown until he got hit with the Sister Abigail, so there was nothing really going on in this match, and it was a missed opportunity. Next would be Bobby Lashley versus Rusev. Oh, how we love it when WWE decides to meddle with people's personal lives, and boy, this rivalry has been no different. Lashley ends up getting the win because, well, here's what happens. Lana continues to put herself where she doesn't belong. And when I say that, I doesn't mean between Rusev and Bobby Lashley. I mean in the middle of the ring. She is god-awful when she's talking. She can cut promos, but they need to be short and sweet. One of my biggest issues with this rivalry so far has been the fact that she talks way too much, and it's laughable at some points when she's going on and on and on. I don't know if WWE, that's the point, to make it kind of laughable at her expense, but she wasn't that great of an in-ring competitor, and she's not that great on the microphone, at least not in this rivalry. She's been better in the past when she was teamed up with Rusev. So I don't know what's really going on, but in this match, she gets in the middle of it, causes Rusev to get distracted, as you may have guessed, and Bobby Lashley spears him into the table. Yes, I said into the table. He spears him. It's a big thud, and the table does not break. The table doesn't even budge, and the table's standing up in the corner. So, but thank God Bobby Lashley is an in-ring veteran, and he remembers that they have another table in another corner straight across from the table he just broke the back of Rusev on. And he suplexes him through the table. That table breaks. Lashley wins. Nothing really happened in that match as well. So, as you have it, so these matches have been going downhill. Now you're on to the main event. Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. I was not happy that this was a main event match. I was kind of looking forward to it. I wasn't completely against it, but the fact of the matter is, I don't think this should have been the main event. I would rather have had, after it was all said and done, New Day versus the Revival at this point. This match was confusing. This match was all over the place. I don't know how many botches there was, but there was some botches going on. I just wasn't impressed with the match overall, at least not from a main event standpoint. And in this match, Becky Lynch gets tied like she's getting tied to a railroad track in a 1950 cartoon from the villain, and somebody needs to come rescue her like a damsel in distress. She gets tied to this ladder and on the ground outside the ring, and most of the match is outside the ring. There's not very much that goes on inside the ring at all. And there's a lot of chairs, there's a lot of tables, there's a lot of ladders. I get it, it's TLC, but sometimes less is more, and in this instance, I believe less would have been way more. Now, what ends up happening is Becky Lynch stays on this ladder, leaving it to Charlotte for at least 10 minutes before Charlotte takes 2 seconds and barely has time to untie her, and I don't even think she really got untied, and she gets attacked, and Becky Lynch breaks out of this thing like a bat out of hell, like Hulk Hogan when he rips off his Muscle Man shirt, and he knows stuff's about to go down, and she ends up whooping everybody for at least 10 minutes when she was on here. So towards the end of the match, and these are the only notable points I can say in this match, Singh does get put through a table by Charlotte through a powerbomb, but then Asuka decides to put Charlotte from the top rope through a table on the outside, and then Becky Lynch ends up taking Asuka down, and you guessed it, she gets the ladder, puts up in the ring. You remember that ladder that she was tied to? Well, she leaves the rope tied on, and just like John Wayne in a Western, Asuka grabs a hold of the rope, pulls Becky Lynch down into the ropes on the ring. She breaks her freaking neck, rolls out of the ring. Asuka goes up and wins the championship. Now, so the Kabuki Warriors win this match. In my opinion, yes, the Kabuki Warriors needed this win. I'm not against Charlotte Flair winning the women's tag team titles, but what happened to her and Natalya being teams? What happened to her and Natalya teaming up together and beating the Kabuki Warriors, at least on an occasion? And the fact that Charlotte Flair keeps losing the Kabuki Warriors is not helping her case, but she don't really need to win these titles just yet. This gives Kabuki Warriors credibility. They main evented a TLC. I look for them to lose it. I don't look for this rivalry to be over. I look for Charlotte to find another tag team partner and eventually win these tag team titles away from the Kabuki Warriors. I would actually prefer it, though, to be an actual tag team that wins these, but we will see. And if it's going to be anybody, I would like to see Natalya get her chance. She's a veteran. She's held a lot of titles in a day, and I think she deserves to hold these women tag team championships at least until WrestleMania, or she wins them at WrestleMania. That's my prediction for another date, another time. Overall, this pay-per-view was maybe a 2.5, 3-star match, in my opinion. A lot of it, why it's so low on my list, it's really a 2.5, I guess, if I really think about it, is because of the last couple of matches, starting with Bray Wyatt, starting with Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns ending, and then there on, it was not that impressive of a pay-per-view from there on out. What saves it and what makes it a 2.5 would be these couple matches, and that is including the kickoff match. So New Day saves it, and Buddy Murphy, Alistair Black save it. The Viking Raiders and OC helps it out, and Carrillo versus Andrade from Kickoff Show helps this match get up to a 2.5. Now Nothing. So the reason, and another reason it makes it down, no title changes happen. Nothing major happens. No big returns. Nothing like that. No major spoilers or anything that's going to come up happens. It's pretty much just a repeat of what's been going on. So this was just like a Raw when it used to be the Supercard effect or whatever they called it back in the day when SmackDown come over, etc., etc. And what ends up the worst match of the night for me is Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. There was a lot of potential. There's a lot of things they could have done, and they chose not to do it. Yes, Bryan comes back, but that wasn't part of the match. And it was kind of predicted that that would happen once he kept doing his thing in the ring. Bray Wyatt was going to hunt The Miz. So it was kind of predictable that Bray Wyatt would be facing Bryan on this night. So there you guys have it. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Put your comments in there. What you think of the show? What would you rate TLC? What was your favorite matches? Because your opinions matter here on this stream, here on these videos. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because it's not just my opinion. Your opinion matters too. If there's something you want me to cover, whether it be football, whether it be wrestling, it doesn't matter. You want me to cover it, I'll cover it. Just put it in the comments below. If you like this content, hit that subscribe button. Follow my page on Facebook as well. It's the same name, Do the Work Sports. And you guys have a great day. Also, if there's something you want me to see to improve this stream, let me know as well. I'm always looking to make this content better for you guys. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great and blessed day.